Hey guys, Galactic Marine 501 / Jackson Wolfexia here, and I'm gonna take a break from playing Skyrim to give you guys a little number 7 or 5. Uh, Sorry, he's kind of buried now underneath all the earlier entrants. Yay! Now, this is character design and the reason that I love these two. Numbers 5 and 4 are really sort of my love of a character that's shining through, and so number 5 is the most modern figure in this lineup, and that is the Dark of the Moon Shockwave. Now, I kept Dark of the Moon stuff. I don't have much Dark of the Moon stuff, and that's because I don't have that incredibly much Revenge of the Fallen stuff either. Like, I collected a few figures, but that was because Soundwave was introduced. I think, and I thought that they did a shitty job on him anyway, but oh well. I'm gonna get the Soundwave Dark of the Moon figure anyway, when I can find it, and probably Laserbeak as well. Just for the simple reason that I love Soundwave and I want to collect all of his versions. But something about this guy just seemed right. Like, they really did just modernize the old version. He does have that sort of, yeah, I'm Megatron. You just don't see me as Megatron, but I am Megatron look to him, which is kind of what Shockwave was. Megatron. There's no way around it. He was Megatron 2. I don't know if there's any other way to say that justifies how BA Shockwave always was. I want to say, like, he is the epitome of whatever Megatron can do, I can do the same freaking way. So yeah. But here he is. Terrific figure. Now let's try terrific tank mode. He does have his mech tech accessory, which does lock in its secondary mode, so he can have the triple cannon back there instead of the single one. But I'll get into that in a little bit when we do the actual one. Now, funnily enough, on the box, this piece was red. This back piece of the mech tech accessory. I'm glad that didn't carry through to the toy, because that would have looked terrible. Because his color scheme is dark silver and 2 shades of purple. It's not that hard to screw that up. And the second shade would have been like one of those super detail plus figures where they really spent a lot on the detail. If it had been like a special high detail version or something like that, it would have had only 2 shades of purple. But they didn't chrome some of the second shade is kind of shiny, some of it isn't. They would have made all of the second shade shiny if they had actually wanted to spend a lot of money on this. Oh yeah, and after this, I'm gonna review something that I haven't reviewed yet, and I'm really surprised that I haven't. A comic series. What comic series, you ask? Well, it is underneath the box of the second, third, second, and first place figures. I really hope I don't activate a sound gimmick there to make you know who one of them is. This comic series. Yeah. I have to admit, I had read most of the synopsis. I didn't know all about the Lantern Corps. I'd read the Sinestro War. I'd read a few of the comics. I'd read 0 and I'd read 1 and 2. and 3, I believe. I don't know how many I'd read, actually. I'd read them from a friend of mine. He would bring them to school and I'd just read them, but I loved them so much that it felt like I was reading one story. At this point, I honestly don't remember how many I'd read before I read that, because I have that now. Okay, so I remember what happened in the last was they had the first sort of all the lanterns are here, blah, big blast of color thing. I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. I need to get these rings. There's nothing making me say anything different. I need these rings. But yeah, an amazing what filler conversations I get into. Yesterday I talked about me scaring the poop out of a mentally handicapped child by accident. That was actually a very terrible accident, and yeah. Again, I apologize if anybody thought I was being insulting or anything during that. Yeah, I wasn't trying to be insulting. I was just relaying a story of a situation in which I had used crappy judgment, or, well, I don't think it was really my fault. I also blame part of it on the fact that he was tall, and already he was taller than I was, and he was about 9 or so. And again, I'm not incredibly tall to begin with. Okay. So here he is transformed. And, I mean, look at Revenge of the Fallen Megatron and this guy side by side. Yeah, this guy has him. Oh, wait. No. Technically, take this blade and put it here. Now you've got Revenge of the Fallen Megatron. We put the blade on his cannon, which he can do. That's pretty cool. But he also has the alternative to use it as a dual-wield weapon, so he can have it on his other arm. He also has a clip on it in there, so he can hold it in his hand. He doesn't do it very well, though. I think the clip may be for that whole MechTech compatibility thing more than anything else. Like, the smaller Soundwave or Shockwave could do this a lot better. And I think the clip is actually the same scale. I could actually give small Soundwave the giant sword. But this guy has something that the small Shockwave didn't, and that's his MechTech weapon. Now, normally I hate the MechTech weapons because they're even less canon than Revenge of the Fallen Ironhide's turrets, or guns, or cannons. Less canon than his cannons. Oh my god. If you guys remember, in Revenge of the Fallen, they went all out with Ironhide's gimmick, giving him that extending barrel cannon thing of doom. That was basically all gimmick and was 3 times bigger than it should have been. Cyberverse, Ironhide is still the most canonically accurate, which is, and the fact that they made him gray for the second movie. So if you hadn't seen the first, hadn't picked Ironhide up in the first, you wouldn't have to pick up a repaint, but with new weapons. It wasn't just a repaint. I'll give him that. That was good that it wasn't just a repaint. Still, gray. Why? Why? I did like how they put capped beret on the Autobots logo on his thing, like it was a captain of something. And again, Ironhide technically was a captain of something at one point or another. He's not anymore. I don't know. Okay, but anyway, back to this. Yeah, his MechTech accessory is one of the few that came off really well, and that is because it's these 2 cannons stored in there. They open up, and then you can actually peg this slide down so they stay open. Now, I think that's pretty cool. There may be some of you out there who hate it. And I think that if he really wanted to, if he had a last resort, he could use it as a shield. Because it is wide enough and solid enough that I think he could take a shot with it and survive it. It would probably break his cannon, but hey, he's got a sword too, so he doesn't really need the. He could do without the cannon. Now, one of the places where this guy shines is the detail. He had a cable. He had his cable that he had. I took it out. I was gonna put it back in for display, but I lost it. Actually, no. I know it's in my Transformers box. I just didn't go in there to get it because it's full of Transformers. It's a giant storage bin about yay wide. I can't even get the whole thing in shot. And I'm a pretty wide load. And about yay tall compared to me. And I'm kind of short. But no, actually I'm 5'10". So I'm not that short. However, I've apparently stopped growing, so I am short. Yeah. Stupid physics. Okay, but anyway. So, never gonna be Kevin Garnett, I guess. Or, why did I choose Kevin Garnett? I don't know. But anyway, why did I choose Dirk Nowitzki? At least he's white. Oh god, that came out racist. Sorry. I meant because I'm white, and I could. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, let's just stop. Because I'm always unintentionally offensive to somebody. But anyway. Love this figure. I mean, he captures the old shockwave so well. So well. And in the movie, he was just totally badass. He shouldn't have died. He should have just been like, boom, taking a hit to the cannon or something. And then just been like, you know what? I'll be back next movie. And you better believe I'm going to be more BA than ever. He could have been Unicron. That's how BA he was. He's just like, robot worms, kill his jetpack. And then they do. They actually took out Optimus Prime's jetpack. Or Jetfire. They took out Jetfire. His jetpack technically is Jetfire. Remember the second movie. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that this guy could be the Dragonborn. That's how badass he is. But that's just because of his character. That's because he's Shockwave. And Shockwave is totally bad. But not. He's purple Megatron. With one eye. Yeah. And by the way, get a look at that face sculpt. I freaking love that face sculpt. It just looks like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you. He's so BA, he got his own cupcakes. Shockwave cupcakes, I reviewed those. Shockwave cupcakes by Hostess. Yeah. The only Decepticon to actually get cupcakes named after him. Cupcakes! Apparently a pony's main source of food. Yeah. No. That one, you're not going to get that if you're not a brony. Real life. Ponies eat hay and grass and stuff. And apples. That part is kind of true. My Little Pony. They eat cupcakes, baked goods, and stuff that would normally give them worms. Yeah. Nice job, Hasbro. I'll see you guys at the next review. This has been Galactic Marine 501/JexamWolfXia, and Soundwave is a total badass. Gonna leave that one there. He is. Disputing it. Total badass.